Welcome to the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast, a show created to inspire carpet cleaning business owners to build their own thriving residential and commercial cleaning business. Your host, John Clendenning, has built and sold successful cleaning businesses for multiple six figures over his 30-year career and is the founder of Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters, a digital agency that turns your online marketing into a lead generation machine. Tune in as John shares proven tips, strategies, and expert interviews to help fast-track your success in the carpet cleaning industry.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast. We like to share lots of great ideas to help carpet cleaners, home cleaning services, and people in the cleaning industry better their business, prepare for what's coming ahead, get their marketing right, get their mindset right, get their education right, so that they can be leaders in their local community in that regard. Got with us today, Jeff Cross. It's an interview I've been looking to do for quite a while now. Jeff is the media director of ISSA Media, ISSA Media, which includes CleanFax, Cleaning Maintenance Magazine, ISA Today, as well as all the related publications and products and stuff like that. Previous owner of a successful cleaning and restoration firm. We're going to ask him a little bit about that. And he also works as a trainer and consultant for business owners, managers, and frontline technicians, and is an IICRC approved instructor. So mouthful there of stuff, Jeff. Did I get it mostly correct?
Mostly correct, yes. Although if you're looking for real help, I don't know why I'm on this podcast.
I think we do. If we could just kind of to get kicked off here, if you want to share a little bit about your background, just your work history. I know a little bit about you. I know that you started again as a you're in publishing or as a journalist, and then kind of got into the carpet cleaning world for a while, and then reached out to somebody both you and I know, John Downey, started doing some writing. I used to see you in the magazine. I had a copy of CleanFax Magazine every month on my doorstep, and that kind of stuff. And now here you are. So just work, family, that kind of stuff. Give us a little bit of background about who Jeff Cross is.
Sure. So you hit a few highlights there. Back in the day when I first got started in my career, I wanted to be a famous journalist. So anyone watching this, if you know the Woodward and Bernstein story, the Watergate story, that inspired me to get into newspaper reporting, and that was my vision. So I did get a job with the newspaper, and I did some reporting. Wasn't as exciting as political Watergate stuff, and it didn't pay good either. So I got married, had a family, and a friend of mine in the town we were in had a carpet cleaning business. And that's kind of how I got into the industry. He was doing pretty good. There were actually a few of my friends doing this. And it was like, well, got to take care of the family, and being self-employed was attractive. So I ditched my career in journalism, got into this industry. And then about 10 years into it, I got the itch to write again. So I teamed up with someone I met on the bulletin board, the CleanFax bulletin board, way back in the day, a fellow named Jackson Lloyd. I think he lived in Missouri. We created this column called Berberina and Olefina.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was me. I was Olefina. He was Berberina. And we created these two characters on this bulletin board that John Downey ran. And tell me if I'm talking too much, John.
No, go ahead. This is good.
And so we got quite the following with these two fictitious carpet cleaning girls, sisters in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we did this for a long time. John saw it and he's like, who is this? He sent an email to us. We had this Gmail or Yahoo email, some secret email. And he says, I noticed you are writing this on my bulletin board. I'd like to get to know you. You write well. Can we do something in the magazine? I'm like, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Got the itch to do more. He published us. So we ran in CleanFax for several years. Eventually, and I did a few other serious articles as Jeff Cross as well. But mainly it was Berberina and Olefina. And interesting, we got fan mail and hit on by other carpet cleaners.
That's awesome.
Who had no
was
idea.
it? This is early 2000s, was it, if I remember?
This is like 96, 97.
Was it even? Yeah, okay, yeah. Because, I started my career in first carpet cleaning business in my 20s at in 95. So, and again, CleanFax Magazine came along within that year going, I need education. So, and stuff like that. And then the bulletin boards and all that stuff. So yeah, that's.
The bulletin boards were in its early days.
Yeah.
And I will say, John, you never did send an email to us or hit on the girls.
Perfect. Don't remember doing that. Yeah. I think I was married by that point. So good.
It was funny though, to have these two made up people that some thought were real girls in the industry, but we made it real. But I eventually sold my company, and I contacted the owner of CleanFax then, because John had sold it to NTP Media in New York. And I said, hey, I have more time to write. I have a background in journalism. They knew what I was already doing. And so it was just a natural progression. So I went from journalism to cleaning, back to journalism. That was 2003.
Okay.
And since then, just stayed with the industry. When we publish, our CleanFax Magazine issues, CMM and ISSA Today, it's all related to what I know, what I kind of grew up in.
Yeah.
So it was a good fit. And that's where I got to now. I became an IICRC instructor as well along the way. We do some marketing workshops. We're bringing back restoration strategies next year to help people on the consulting side to provide these events. So just a progression of things, John, it's a good place to be.
Yeah. And it's like, and again, that's what I wanted the listeners to hear on this episode is that your history, like, a lot of times you'll see like your media directors and faces, and some of the young crowd may not know who you are and who you were from the years of the rest of us having followed and seen your name everywhere. Right. And it's like, well, this person might've went through university and be, for media and journalism and stuff like that, and has no real connection to the cleaning industry, but it's that depth. There's actually the next question I had for you was sort of, what you'd find to date, your most important contribution to the cleaning industry through this journey of what you learned, then what you learned after you left your business and kind of learned even more, it sounds like, and then how you're applying it with, giving back to the industry. What would you say is sort of like your place and space? What are you trying to carve out as in your role?
So that's a good question. That has changed over the years. When I got into publishing back in 2003, back into it, it was print, web and some website stuff and newsletters. And that's changed now to more digital. So we still do our print publications, a lot of digital, social media. But I would say the payoff is when we publish something, whether I write it or not, and we get the response from someone like, this really helped me. And that happens. People reach out. I read this article. I needed this, or I saw this on the site. And more so since the pandemic, in spring of 2020, started doing videos. And I know you, John, have been on a couple of mine, and thank you for that. What good content that you provide. The video component is really cool. And you could see people are watching. We normally get hundreds and sometimes thousands, and a few times 6,000, 7,000 views. And that may not seem like a lot, but in an industry, business to business, that is quite a bit. We're not talking about music videos, Madonna, Gaga type stuff. But it's rewarding to see that, and the comments, and like at ISSA show that we were at a couple months ago, or last month actually, people just come up and they're like, yeah, I saw the video on this and it helped me. So it's making a difference. I would say it's human nature to try to help people.
Okay.
And that's what we try to do with our media content and our reach.
Yeah. And how, because your history, you seem to really be driving that concept. It's obviously the Take 5 with CleanFax, which is great on it as that entity, and then you've got the Straight Talk, which is more cleaning industry, a little bit broader and stuff like that as well. And again, you kind of touched on the fact of the changing sort of reader habits. They shouldn't even be called reader habits anymore, but content consumer behavior and that kind of thing. And that's what we're really seeing. Even obviously businesses themselves should be adapting to that, just like you're talking about, like the actual cleaning businesses should understand that we all read CleanFax Magazine in the day, if you're smart enough to do so, because there was always an article about how to market better, how to do your restoration work better, the new products coming out, industry highlights and things like that. And it's we're in a world now where really it does seem to sort of have that moment or that time to sit down and read through an entire magazine. I don't know what's caused this, but it definitely seems more challenging than before. And, let alone read a book, because, again, readers are leaders, and anybody who owns their own cleaning business should be reading, Michael Gerber, E-Myth stuff and everything. It's just how to, all of the stuff in the industry to get your head around how to run a business and how to be in the industry, and then upgrading their credits and their IRCRC certifications and just staying on top of everything. But bite-sized snippets seem to be the way that it's, at least as an entry level, right? Those people that consume a bunch of those might end up on webinars and stay a little bit longer later on. But
so it's interesting because we have to think as business people, or those in media, like what we're doing right now. It's not about what we think or what we think should be put out there to be consumed. It's about the ones who are going to consume, and we're consumers ourselves. So as I look on YouTube or Instagram and I'm looking, and if a video is long, I have to think, what kind of commitment is this? If a book is thick, if a magazine is thick, if there's lots of words, we're all busy people. So the videos, John, and I know the Take 5 with CleanFax, it's tough. You and I have done 2 or 3 of those, and to get all that content into 5 minutes or so, there's no rule, but I like it to be around 5 minutes. It's tough.
Yeah.
But it's also popular because people see, oh, it's a short tip. I want that.
Yeah.
And so it's about what people want. And I think that's just how it is in business.
It is. And again, kind of, I like relating what you're doing and what you're seeing back to the actual cleaning business owner. Gary Vaynerchuk has said, Gary V, that everybody now owns a media company. Like if you're the ditch digger, the carpet cleaner, the electrician, the plumber, if you own the company, you own a media company now. Because if you don't recognize that, the 20-something-year-old that just starts the business and has spent years, streaming on Twitch because they play video games, or just, grabbing their cell phone and going live on Facebook or YouTube or something like that, or now TikTok, they now become a roofer. They now become a carpet cleaner, and they continue doing that. They have an audience, because if they know how to do that, if they know how to create that content, and once you know how to create content, you can create it anywhere. You can place it anywhere in it. The different environments and platforms that show up all have a different use case, but that ability to create content has become a big part of running a business. For the digital marketing world that we transitioned into, content is king. It's the only thing that causes you to rank online, and your content causes people to take an action and stuff like that. But and find out about your brand and then go deeper, and whether that's social media, whether that's search engines, whatever. But yeah, what you're doing with Take 5 and Straight Talk and stuff like that is kind of what we're teaching our clientele in the marketplace to do in general. Is start with one, make it difficult, make it uncomfortable, but just start putting out some form of content, before and after pictures, and then maybe put your voice over and stuff like that, and interview a homeowner, interview a local real estate agent or something like that. Do your own little Take 5 kind of thing, and just about, be relevant to your town and your area, and the services you provide will naturally just sort of perk to the surface for people.
It's interesting you say that, because we actually did a piece of content on that concept. It's been a while, but I remember from your conversation here, it was about how someone could know nothing about what they're doing. They can come into the industry, they barely know what carpet is, yet they know how to use their phone and their digital marketing savviness. And all of a sudden you've got a competitor who can't compete on the technical skill part of it, but on the marketing, you better up your game. And so that's why, John, it's important to recognize that. Like, I wouldn't try myself to become an SEO expert at my age and what's going on. I would hire that done.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to do. I can do the basics. I know the content and the social media part, but that deeper level is tough.
Yeah. And that's all the technical side of it for sure. But yeah, it's, again, I know some businesses, young fellows, it's not just sort of like me saying, young guys or girls come into the industry. I know several that just small towns of 30,000 people and running $400,000 or $500,000 a year snow removal companies. I'm up here in the north, so there's snow removal, and take the summer off because, young kid just started doing, hey, it's snowing today, we got our crew out here and that kind of stuff, and just grew and grew and grew. And within a few short years, they were the only one doing residential snow removal and, a couple other things, right? But no really decent website to I would look at their SEO and go, oh no, that's terrible. But they were blowing up on Facebook and on YouTube and stuff like that locally. And it became the game changer for them. Right. Then you start getting the rest of it right. And, it's a catch up race for anybody else who wants to be a competitor now for them. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I noticed as well. So I wanted like ISSA, just, now that you are connected to that great organization, an association. And I noticed that they just hit 100 years. Did I get that right?
No, you're wrong.
Okay.
Next year's
100 years. Okay. So we're close, but
you're close. So we are
back to
doing
1920 to 23. That's insane that the association would have started then. So yeah, tell me a little bit of it.
Well, it started about 99 years ago with a small event. I think it was in St. Louis, without looking at my notes.
Yeah.
And it just grew. It was just people came together. They knew they needed something, combining of forces in the industry, distribution and manufacturing. Yeah. And from there, it just started, and the shows became popular over time, and the association has grown. So now some 10,500 member organizations. Wow. And you think about those members some of them are large companies. So this represents tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people who touch those organizations.
Yeah.
And over the years, ISSA has embraced other components, training, media as well, which is how I ended up here, because the publications I work on were owned previously by other companies, other publishing companies. But ISSA saw the need to reach the market, have a voice in the industry beyond membership. Although we do serve our members first and foremost, we serve the industry as well. So 100 years coming up next year. We're going to have some special content on that. We're going to feature thought leaders, companies that succeeded, that made a difference, the brands, and also end of next year, a big event at our trade show in Vegas.
Yeah.
So John, if you're there, I'll get you in. Just let me know.
Awesome.
And
yeah.
you can be part of that. And then we're going to have a feature on what's coming in the next 100 years. What are some predictions? We're not done. There's a lot more to do.
No, I was shocked when I saw that you're close to that centennial then. So that's incredible for an organization to be around, grow that long, and obviously ongoing education and being an education leader. Anybody who's gone to the website, follows, ISSA Today or anything like that, you see that's a big component. What would you say would be for the business owner, for the home cleaning business owner, janitorial, carpet cleaning, the crowd that we tend to talk to, what would be a good entry level for them to get involved with the ISSA, joining, expect to get out of it, that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. So if you're not a member of ISSA, you can become a subscriber to our publications, and many are. We have some 25,000 for CleanFax, pushing 40,000 for CMM.
Are those still print magazines too? Are they still
print?
That? Are they both print magazines?
They're all print and digital.
Yeah, because you can see the online version, but the print is perfect.
Yes. Interesting that with the digital, you can see people are going back 5-10 years ago and still reading that content. It's cool to see that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But receive our publications, but becoming a member of ISSA as a contractor, which most of those that we serve on the member side are contractors, whether it's carpet cleaning, restoration, or janitorial facility as well. There's benefits. We have the Rethink Clean campaign with Howie Mandel. All our members can use that toolkit. They can use that content to use on their websites, use in their marketing. We spent some $5 million on this whole campaign.
Wow.
To Rethink Clean, to connect the business world, the cleaning professionals, to consumers, to those who need them. So it's a bridge of sorts that we're doing there. Yeah. There's other benefits, there's the medical, there's the HR benefits, there's all kinds. There's a huge laundry list of typical and beyond typical trade association benefits that we offer. And it's a community as well.
Yeah.
So, you can be part of a community, network, and help each other and just be part of that family. So there's so many things to look at. And there's a place for everybody, whether you're a one truck carpet cleaner or a huge restoration company or multi-truck, whatever you are, there's a place for you.
And that's perfect. That's what I think people need to realize. There's a lot of times you feel like as a business owner starting out, you're sort of on an island of your own trying to learn what's going on. You might join a Facebook group nowadays. Back in the day, it was literally the magazines and chat to local friends that are in the industry. But nowadays, again, you can jump on an online forum and start asking stuff like that. But you kind of do feel like an island of your own around a lot of these different issues. And yeah, and I know again, educating yourself on the services you do, but again, even what I was going to ask you about the Howie and the Rethink Clean, because part of that whole concept is like we've talked about cleaning for health for decades now. Like carpet cleaners knew that you had to get away from cleaning for looks and start talking about cleaning for health. And my own business, we had the healthy home package and the all that kind of stuff, and just used the branding all the way through. And again, some people got it, but usually the ones that got it had allergies or had another, like they had it already in their head. I kind of think as a world, we have rethought clean over the last, 2.5 years. And it's really kind of, come to the forefront. And I think even as some people sort of back themselves back off from, okay, I'm not as paranoid or I'm not as focused on that. I think we've added more people to the club that have said, okay, no, actually, this is really, really important to consider. Like I ran a janitorial company and a maid service, and both of those, we brought in products. We bought existing companies and transformed them by saying, hey, human contact point sanitation was a big part of what we sold. So 30% higher prices than our competitors, but we sold, not only green products, but, bathrooms got cleaned with orange mops and the rest of the place got cleaned with, the white mops or the floor scrubbing machines. And those got taken out every night, not left in a janitorial closet. And, again, the bathroom was wiped down with orange rags, microfiber, and the rest of it was the blue or the white and things like that. And it was sort of, we went in and taught them that we do things differently. You can look in the janitorial closet and it'll be clean enough to eat off of because we're not leaving stinky stuff behind, but we're also not doing that in your whole facility and, using peroxide-based cleaners and things like that and not overloading them with chemicals in the environment as well and things like that. And we kind of brought that in, and this was like mid 2000s. And it would be like that message to 10 different business managers or, facility managers to try and get the janitorial gig. And one would go, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I need because they knew about it. The other 9 were going, I have no idea why you'd even do that. Can we just have the cheapest price? Right.
Yep.
I think nowadays that's changed. I think a lot of them are like through this whole period of pandemic and sanitizing and spraying. And then what do we do and what works and what doesn't work? And, all of that kind of stuff. I think, yeah, I really see that Rethink Clean campaign making a ton of sense.
So interesting, all true. And I think back to why people have things done. It's a trigger. So you think about carpet cleaning. Sure, we should clean for health, and sure, there's allergies, but most of your homeowners are going to go, it looks dirty, let's get it cleaned.
Yeah.
So there's that issue.
Or it's Thanksgiving coming up, let's get it cleaned before the family shows up, or after they leave and make a mess. It's an event.
There's a trigger for everything we do. So whether it's a stain on the carpet, families coming over, there's an odor, whatever it is. With the pandemic, and especially like you referred to, the cleaning and disinfecting, we have that momentum that built up. And we can't lose that. And that's what the Rethink Clean campaign is about as well, to keep the momentum going, because we're coming out of this and people are getting comfortable, and we can see the signs that it could happen where people don't value the cleaning industry like they should. So it's our goal, it's our job to keep that going.
Yeah.
And to educate, because the only reason people are going to clean for health is through education, and that takes all of our efforts combined.
Yeah. And education-based marketing, Dan Kennedy 101, that's been around. And again, some businesses just go, oh, we're 3 rooms in a hall for $99 or whatever. Other businesses are, no, let me educate you why, we do a better job and we use better products and why you should do it more often. And then their monthly newsletters and their mailings should be about, okay, you've now got it clean for this event. Here's how you should keep it up and why, and start to educate. But it's definitely way more helpful for anybody in the industry when the media at large is telling the same message and not just the carpet cleaner or whatever is saying that, and they're going, yeah, but now they hear it on the news as well, going, and then they see Howie involved, which, I mean, for somebody who is OCD about cleaning and well known, and as a fellow Canadian, we've known Howie for years, back from the days of a comedian putting rubber gloves over his head and blowing up his old Bobby gig and stuff like that, his little jokes. But
his germophobia is real, and it goes back to, I think, his childhood. So he's the real deal when it comes to keeping clean and avoiding the germs.
Yeah.
And to another point you mentioned, there's always going to be those that want the cheap price no matter what.
Yep.
And there's a place for cleaners that want to offer that.
Yes. Oh, for sure. And it again, there's that's the marketplace. And we know that if you're gonna, maid services and carpet cleaning, you come back more often, there's got to be a reason to come back more often other than it's dirty. So I did notice on the rethinkclean.org, if anybody's wanting to look where that is, there is a find your local business that rethinks clean. What's that all about?
So it's our members. That's one of the member benefits, to connect them to buying customers. So being part of our organization, of course, there's a certain level of care we offer. We want them to offer their customers the standing in the industry to make sure we're doing the very best we can. So it's a way to refer them to those that are paying for services.
Perfect. So that is another ISSA member benefit. Well, that's just brilliant. And so with all of this, like, we've kind of covered a lot of good stuff around the difference, the changing in the industry, the changing of media, how you guys are adapting, what ISSA is, and can help, the business owner get more education, stay up on top of it, be compliant on certain things, get all these different benefits, and also continue to understand where they should place their attention. Overall, where do you see the cleaning industry heading? What kind of things have your attention right now for the near future, the next 12 months and maybe the next 3 years, as far as the ISSA's focus and just the industry in general?
Sure. A big focus is something that many may not even see or know about, and that's our advocacy department.
Okay.
We have an expert on that, government advocacy, John Nodurft, who runs that. We do recordings as well, and we talk about the issues. But when you think about taking cleaning to the next level, it might take some government interaction as well. Just like there are rules and regulations on health, well, cleaning is part of health as well, cleaning for health. And it'd be nice to have some regulations that we like, that we knew were important, not just to make new laws or regulations, but that really raise the bar of cleaning. That's a focus that we have. And so that's a work in progress. I know IICRC as an organization has a similar focus, but we have lobbyists, and we're working with those in government to elevate cleaning. And as that happens, we're going to see the progression of cleaning for health increase. The awareness and the reaction to it will be a positive.
No, that's good. And I think that is a really good focus for, again, whether it is the large janitorial firms that we deal with, or even the one-off cleaners and stuff like that. They really need to stay on top of this information, and understand where they fit into that role and what's going on around them, so that they can tell their customers about that, commercial and residential customers.
Yeah, and that's why we encourage everyone to subscribe, to engage, and we'll, like anyone involved in media, keep people informed as to what's happening. But just there to help. And the future, no one can predict it, but we just need to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Other things I see is more digital marketing and business growth that way. But it all goes back to people and how you treat people, and the customer service that we need to keep elevating, which in almost every industry we see just dropping into the gutter.
Yeah.
So just caring about what you do is a focus I think we all should have.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. And as far as tapping in, so we've talked a few things. Definitely go to, it's issa.com. Am I correct? And then
so it is. And if you go to issa.com, there's a media tab that has everything right there. So
perfect. Yeah,
you can always go to each individual publication, but there's a portal there to take you to each one.
Yeah, and then go to the YouTube channel for sure. Check that out, because there's lots of, again, that's where your take fives are, and your all the other, the ISSA Today and stuff, like all the other different Straight Talk and stuff like that are all showing up there.
Yeah, and that's all in the media tab too. And the number one Take 5 there now is with John Clendenning.
Wow, there you go. Hey, glad I got a number one spot for something at some point. So I was in a band years ago and we never got a number one spot for anything. So that's good. So,
Yeah.
So again, in closing, just wondered, so what kind of advice would you give our type of audience, basically to focus, stand out, especially with uncertain times? Like, you and I've been around long enough to know that, even what the publications printed and talked about and helped with during slowdowns in economies and recessions that haven't really raised their ugly head in, 12 plus years now. But we've been through a bunch of them before, and the specter of that coming up, is also on everybody's mind who runs a small business as well. And so just, what do you think is, as far as our audience, they should be thinking about, focus on, help them survive and thrive in the coming times?
Sure. Top of mind for me is that everyone in the company is a marketing person. Your technicians out there going to the house, taking care of Mrs. Smith's carpet, or those doing restoration work. Whatever you do when you're with the customer, you are the marketing face. So my advice is hire the best people, pay enough to keep them. But remember that everyone is the marketing department. Because often we think, well, I'm just a technician. I'm out there doing the work. I'm not in charge of marketing. Well, you are in charge of marketing, because how you treat the customer is going to dictate referrals, repeat work, and so much with that business. So it's all about people, John. Take care of people. When you face your customer and talk to them, the owner operator has an advantage, because I know when I ran my company and I was an owner operator, I could talk to my customer, whether it was at the job or I saw him out in public or at a restaurant. I could communicate with them.
Yeah.
Not every technician can. And so we want the best technicians who can communicate and represent the company. So I'd say people first, know how to talk to them, represent the company as a marketing person, realizing that you're not just there to clean, you're there to take care of the customer.
No, that's great advice. Yeah, that's right in line with what we talk about, with, again, delivering a client experience. The whole, Dan Kennedy first introduced me to this, but the whole Disney premise of, you're not hiring through HR, you're hiring through central casting, because you're being cast in a role. You don't want your technician flicking a cigarette butt out the window of the van and stuff like that, or all that, because just driving down the street, you're on stage, you're showing off your wares at every stage throughout the business. So and
that's all true, and we have so much information about that, but we need to do it. There's the books that say it, there's the YouTube videos you can watch about it, but
how do you make it happen?
Make it happen. Look at what you're doing and really analyze, and just, if you need to change something, then do that. But I know we can look at all kinds of material that tells us this, but
until you do,
rubber meets the road.
Yeah, exactly. And those will be the companies. Those are the companies that made it through any other hard economic times, because customers rally around people that do it right and care about them and show it, and it's obvious. And those are the same companies that make it through any slowdowns in the economy that might be around the corner. So perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate your time today, Jeff. This is awesome, as always, chatting with you. And for anybody who wants to reach out and learn more about the ISSA, just go to the website, check out the media tab. You've got directions to get into everything, and just really start learning why this is a great resource for your business, and follow everything Jeff does, because he's becoming a master of the whole digital online media, whether he knows it or not. So perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Take care.
Thank you, John.